to the Shark Podcast with your hosts, Arturo and Shannon Delgado. This podcast is brought to you by Bubbles Laundry, Hilltop Laundry, Trendsetter Realty, and It's a Grind Coffee House. All right. So here we are again. Sorry about our previous podcast. We are not going to be able to salvage those, so we got to start fresh. But that's okay. So hey, babe, how have you been?
Fantastic.
Fantastic. Yeah. I like that. I've been pretty great myself, actually. So we went on a date night tonight. We went on and saw
Skyscraper.
Yes. And it was a pretty good movie. I kept thinking, though, it's like really a updated version of Die Hard.
Oh, really?
Did you not agree? Do you not remember Die Hard?
I don't. The only part I remember is, you know.
Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker. Oh,
yeah?
Is it yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker?
Yippee-ki-yay.
Something like that.
Mother trucker.
This is for adults. You're okay to cuss, honey. I'm sure they've heard it before. But no, we went and saw Skyscraper, and it didn't do too well at the box office.
It didn't?
No, it didn't.
What did you read about it?
I just read that it wasn't making any money.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I thought it would.
Which is crazy. Yeah, because The Rock is fucking badass. I like watching his movies. He's like the new millennium's Arnold Schwarzenegger, like how Arnold Schwarzenegger was in the 80s and the 90s.
That's Dwayne Johnson today.
Yeah, today. But I think he might have suffered a little bit from overexposure, because I think he did like 3 or 4 movies this last year.
Yeah, Jumanji.
Rampage.
Oh, yeah.
And Skyscraper, and then he was in another movie, wasn't he? And he's on that TV show Ballers on HBO. Yeah. So he might be just suffering from overexposure. It's like you want to see The Rock, but do you want to see that much of The Rock?
I don't know. I do.
I don't want to pay to see that much of The Rock, because once you see him that much, you're like, this motherfucker should be seeing me for free. You know what I mean?
I don't know. I think it's awesome that he went from, wrestling and became a legit actor. That's what I kept thinking the whole way through the movie, really, was he really did it. He doesn't have to do any cheesy things like he did during wrestling to, give the Rock look, you know what I mean, to be in the movie anymore.
Well, he didn't even have that look at first. Like, he came out, like, I remember his first wrestling match was, like, on a B wrestling or something like that. I don't even think it was Raw. I think it was, like, Saturday SmackDown or some shit, the one nobody really watched. And I think he came out dressed like a fucking Pacific Islander, but like not really like Pacific, but he had like a Jerry curl and blue those fucking wrestling briefs or whatever. I don't know what to call them.
Really, all I can think right now in my mind is what I'm seeing is that movie with Kevin Hart where The Rock was a fat kid. Like, that's what I'm seeing in my head.
No, kind of, but shave the sides off of that and make it greasy looking. Okay, and then he went into this like persona of like I'm better than you kind of thing.
Isn't that what they all do?
Well, he became a heel, so like you'd come up. And it was like the time of heels, because him and Stone Cold Steve Austin, they were both kind of heels, and then people started liking them.
Heels.
Heel is a bad person in wrestling. You have your heel and you have your face. The faces are like Hulk Hogan was, when he was Hulkamania, yeah. And the bad guy was old Andre the Giant.
Okay.
He was a heel, and Hulk Hogan was a face, a pretty face. That's what they call them, pretty boys.
John Cena is definitely a face, right?
Yes.
Okay. I just had to clarify. Mm-hmm. Curiosity.
And I don't even know if it falls into that shit no more, because back in the day, it was only the faces that talk shit, and then the good guys were like, yeah, I'm good, but I'm going to kick your butt. Like,
I never really got into wrestling, but
Like the Ultimate Warrior was kind of a face, and it was just a weird time in wrestling. But anyway, that led to The Rock, and like he started changing up his persona to where he was like, he'd be like, "Hey, what do you think of my shirt?" It doesn't matter what you think. This shirt costs more than what you make in a week. You know, that's that's what he'd do. You know what I mean? Listen, and then he came up with the, if you smell what the Rock is cooking. And
I remember that.
Yeah, and I remember, like, he'd have the Rock Bottom and the People's Elbow. But he didn't have those moves until, like, later on.
See, after he was,
well, I watched wrestling because I was I guess I was a dork. I don't know. I liked it. It was cool. Like a male soap opera.
Yeah, it seems like a lot of guys watched it. To me, it does seem...
Actually, you know, a lot of people still fucking do.
Nerdy.
Let's look at the popularity of John Cena. And
right, but I don't watch wrestling, and I still know who these people are.
Yeah, and who's that other dude? He fought in the MMA. Brock Lesnar. That big motherfucker.
He's a wrestler now?
He was a wrestler before.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he was.
Like, what?
He played, like, this is what it goes with. I think it goes like this. I'm not sure. He was a football player and he played high school sports. He got a scholarship, but he didn't do too good in school, so he didn't do the scholarship. He went to wrestling. And he started wrestling, and then he tried out for a couple NFL teams and didn't make the cut. You know what I mean? I don't know the exacts of it, but this is kind of the gist of it. And then he gave MMA a shot after it became pretty popular. He had a name. They brought it to MMA. And he was all right, but the dude was 250 pounds, you know? So he just lay on the motherfucker and beat the shit out of him with a hammer punch. Yeah. But he's a bad motherfucker, don't get me wrong. He laid on top of me and hit me with those fucking claws. I'd be out too, you know what I mean? But that's what he'd do. Like, he didn't really have the wrestling skills to be wrestling against a jiu-jitsu artist or anybody that rolled, you know, kind of like that was rolling a lot. And that's what you kind of have to be, I guess, to be a well-rounded MMA fighter, because the fight can go to the ground. It can be a stand-up. You got to be a boxer. You got to be a wrestler. You got to be a jiu-jitsu artist. You got to be a kickboxer. You know what I mean? They take all those and just make a fighting style all their own.
Kind of just sounds like, or what in my mind I think is, if I got in there, it would be like a street fight. I don't know.
Right. It would. That's pretty much what it'd be. Yeah. So, that's all I'm saying about that. But anyway, The Rock's popularity is fucking huge. Like, it's huge. Like, I remember the first movie that I thought he was in, and that was, like, The Scorpion King, and that's just because, like, it was, like, co-produced by WWE, maybe.
Yeah, something.
And I think it had Jet Li in it, too. No, that was the last one. But The Scorpion King was lame as, like, the movie The Scorpion King with The Rock.
I think the first one was good. I didn't like any after that.
Well, I didn't like the first Scorpion King because the fucking special effects were terrible. They didn't have them honed yet. They were kind of cheesy looking, especially when he turned into a fucking scorpion. Come on, man. But in that movie, The Mummy, that was cool where he's a scorpion. That's the first time I heard of him. But then I saw this other movie called, I think it's called Get Shorty or something like that.
That's the name of a movie, but I don't think I've seen it.
Oh, well, it's like, I don't know what the name is, actually. It could be like, but it had John Travolta, that little short dude. What's his name?
Danny DeVito?
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to look up Rock movies in order.
Oh. But it had Danny DeVito, and it also had, well, of course, The Rock, and it had Vince Vaughn.
Really?
Yeah.
I like Vince Vaughn.
You wouldn't have liked him in this movie. You kind of hated him. But anyway, yeah. And he played a gay bodyguard.
Really?
Yeah. Who wanted to be a country singer.
Who did?
The Rock.
Oh, dear.
And he had this fro. Like a Jerry curl fro. Yeah. It was a weird movie. It was a good movie. It was weird. Just because, you know.
He was in 105 movies.
That's a lot of fucking movies. Like, that's a little maybe overexposure. You know, now he's commanding like 20 to 25 million a movie. He makes
commanding. I like that.
Well, that's what it is. You make $25 million movie. You put out fucking 4 movies like you did. $100 million.
Well, there's a lot on this list that I have never heard of. Oh, Baywatch was another one recently.
Yeah, Baywatch.
What's that called? Central Intelligence.
Yep. I mean, the guy's just
G.I. Joe.
He's in a lot of fucking movies.
Furious 7.
Furious 8. He's just
San Andreas.
Yeah, so he's come out with a lot of fucking movies. Think about it, man.
For sure.
The guy's got to be close to worth $1 billion because I don't think that the only thing he does is make movies. 'Cause that'd be dumb. I bet he diversifies his portfolio. I don't know what I'm talking about.
Oh, there we go.
But, yeah. But anyway, we saw Skyscraper. It was pretty awesome. I thought it was awesome. And to enjoy it, you'd have to see it in theaters just because of the scenes. No spoilers here. But there was a lot of good scenes in that movie where you thought, oh my God, the height is going to kill me.
Yeah, it was intense. Definitely. And you know what? I like Neve Campbell. That's kind of not something I really would want to tell people.
She's made a resurgence lately. She's been in another movie too, like recently. I don't know what it is. I don't remember. Not off the top of my head.
Me either.
But she's
I've
made just kind
liked
of.
her.
Have you?
Since The Craft.
I didn't like her as Sydney
I did.
in Scream.
I think I just liked her.
I just didn't gravitate to that character. You know who else I didn't like was her greasy kind of skinny boyfriend.
Oh yeah, Skeet Ulrich.
Is that his name?
Yeah.
How do you know his name? Do you have a crush on him?
No, I really liked Neve Campbell.
Oh.
Really?
Well, that guy was like.
Yeah, he was a creep, man.
Yeah, like you knew he was a creep. Like,
that just seems like somebody I would have dated back in the day, definitely. Like,
wow, TMI, babe. We are on the internet.
Well, I'm sure if you look hard enough, you probably see some of my Skeet Ulrich moments.
Yeah, I probably dated some skeezers too now. I'm probably the skeezer some of you have dated. I'm just, but I'm just saying.
You're the skis I married.
Yeah, I'm now married. Skis, I'm off the market. Get your own skis. Skeezer. Anyway. All right. Hey, thanks for joining us. We do appreciate it. And we'll see you again next podcast, you know. We're going to try to put one out every Wednesday and Thursday just because that's cool. And those are my days off from work.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. We'll talk to you again.
Bye.
Bye. We'd like to give another thank you to our fine sponsors. That's Trendsetter Realty, Hilltop and Bubbles Laundry, and It's a Grind Coffee House. Make sure to catch us next time. Thanks for listening.